If you had to guess the absolute deadliest snake in Asia, what would you picture? We naturally think of the monsters, the massive, intimidating reptiles that strike fear strictly through their size and power. Over 100,000 people die from snake bites in Asia every single year. Yet the most famous, terrifying suspects are responsible for almost none of those fatalities. To find the true killer, we must build a new equation for deadliness. Variables like venom potency, toxin volume, and temper are just a starting point. Turning a dangerous predator into a mass killer requires a final multiplier: human opportunity. Lethality is a geographic reality. A snake is only as deadly as its proximity to us. Let's test the extremes. Take the reticulated python. It can grow to a record-breaking 30 feet and easily crush prey with immense power. But it lacks venom entirely. And because wild pythons actively avoid human populations, the opportunity variable drops to near zero. If we shift strictly to chemical warfare, the incredibly rare blue coral snake sits near the top of the list. It carries a terrifying neurotoxin. It specifically paralyzes the diaphragm, the muscle responsible for inflating your lungs. Without it, the victim simply stops breathing. The banded Sea Krait carries a similarly lethal payload, injecting toxins that instantly immobilize fish in the open ocean. Yet both the blue coral and the Sea Krait are eliminated from our lethal lineup. They live isolated in deep jungles or on coral reefs and possess remarkably placid, gentle temperaments. Having the most loaded biological weapon in nature is completely irrelevant if the animal never points it at a human target. The math changes entirely when we move out of wild nature and into commercial plantations. Here, human and reptile habitats are forced to overlap. The green tree viper and Malayan pit viper are particularly dangerous to agricultural workers because they inhabit the exact crops and palm oil plantations people are paid to harvest. Because they blend into foliage and leaf litter, workers frequently grab or step on them by mistake. These bites rarely kill, but the venom destroys enough flesh to lead to amputations and permanent disability. That brings us to an escalation in the equation, the notoriously aggressive Russell's viper. It maxes out the biological variables. It sits perfectly still in agricultural litter, possesses a hair-trigger temper, and injects a potent hemotoxin, a venom that triggers massive internal bleeding and systemic clotting. Agricultural environments engineer deadliness by forcing the most aggressive vipers into constant, daily contact with unprotected human hands and feet. But the undisputed champion of the lethality equation is the spectacled cobra. This chart shows how a spectacled cobra maxes out every single metric. Its overwhelming biological arsenal includes a massive venom yield, combining breathing-stopping neurotoxins with flesh-destroying cytotoxins. But the behavior that pushes it to the #1 spot is its habitat. Unlike other snakes that retreat from civilization, the cobra actively thrives inside human settlements. It is driven by a specific ecological loop. Human civilization generates refuse. That refuse attracts massive rodent populations, and those rodents draw the cobras directly into homes and sleeping areas. This constant overlap leads to fatal nighttime encounters. Most incidents occur when a resident steps out in the dark or rolls over on their sleeping mat, startling a hunting snake. Because of this loop, the strongest defense against this killer isn't entirely medical. Simple environmental habits, like using flashlights at night and clearing village refuse, are the most effective ways to break the opportunity cycle. We did not stumble into the territory of Asia's deadliest snake. By building our towns and generating a steady food supply, we accidentally manufactured its hunting ground.